Marvel fans. Oh my god. I saw Endgame today. I can't believe that it's finally out. I can't believe that it's over. That's really the case here. It's all over now. The Russo brothers are done. Captain America and Iron Man, they're done. By that I mean the actors who portray them are done, so therefore these versions of them are done. Like, oh my gosh. This movie contains so many spoilers, so please don't watch this if you don't want to be spoiled. Go watch the movies first. Watch all the movies first if you feel like it. I don't care, but you're going to want to watch Endgame at least before you watch this. Anyway, just wow. I am truly amazed. There could have been a lot more that could have been added, I believe, or some things could have been changed around, but that's just me. I love, like, I both love and hate what happens to Thor, because after he realizes there's no going back, or, like, you know, he kind of just lets himself go. And he does exactly what Valkyrie did when she lost all the fellow Valkyrie. He did exactly what she did. Just picked up drinking and lying around doing nothing, basically. And it's sad, but at the same time, there's a reference to, like, my favorite movie ever, The Big Lebowski, and they call him Lebowski. I'm like, the dude would have been better, but oh my god, he actually looked like a fatter version of the dude. It was so funny. Yeah, the right sunglasses, the right pose in the chair, everything. All that was missing was a white Russian. Oh my goodness. I think the most heartbreaking scene wasn't Tony Stark's death, though. I think it was Black Widow's, because she took this so seriously, because the Avengers, again, were her family. They stated that in the movie. Like, after she died, they asked, did she have any family? And they're like, us. And that's the truth. The Avengers were Black Widow's family. And it means more to me knowing she sacrificed herself and she gave up her soul so that they could save the world. And I don't know, that just means something to me. Like, I don't know if I would do that or not. But there is a problem that I kind of have with Boromir, I think that's how you pronounce it. And that is, when you get to where the price has to be paid, you see these two towers. Your soul is basically taken up through those towers into the clouds, where you get, and then you get the soul stone. What a lot of people don't really notice is those are the twin towers, and I don't think it was necessarily intentional, but like, I don't think that's necessarily something that they should have put into that movie, that or Infinity War, frankly. But I can't do anything about that. All I can point out is it is a symbolic representation of the Twin Towers, and I understand it's supposed to symbolize, like, kind of in a sense, how you're saving like hundreds to millions, trillions of souls by sacrificing your own. But that would make sense if it was just in Endgame. In Infinity War, it kind of symbolizes how the loss, taking away Gamora's soul, the Soul Stone is like taking hundreds of millions of billions of trillions of souls. And I don't like that. I can't do anything about it. All I can do is, like, try to point it out to people. I'm sad that my theory about Grey Hulk coming didn't really happen, but I do love the fact that it wound up being Professor Hulk instead, because Grey Hulk is basically Professor Hulk, in the sense, like, it's Hulk's strength with Banner's brain. That was my whole thing in the beginning, is I just believe, my dad and I just believed that personally it was going to be Grey Hulk. But I was kind of right. I hate that it didn't happen on Sakaar, because that would have just made things all the more interesting. Because, again, Sakaar is in the quantum realm. It is on the edge of the known and unknown. So it would have made more sense for it to be there. But I don't personally think that they're done with Sakaar, but I can't really say, because, again, the Russo brothers are done. When it comes to Professor Hulk, though, I really truly think that, you know, there should have been a bit more of a story arc there to show how all of that happened. If they had, like, were to make a movie about Hulk, one final movie about Bruce Banner and Hulk, I think it should be what happens to him during those 5 years and how Professor Hulk comes to be, because at the end of Infinity War, Banner tells Hulk, you know, we got a lot to work out, and they do. But we don't see that happen. And Hulk and Bruce Banner are two very interesting characters. And I do love how, you know, it's Professor Hulk who does the snap that undoes Thanos' original snap, that brings everybody back. I also love how Nebula is really redeemable. Like, throughout the movies that she's in, this one kind of made the biggest mark to me, because it shows how much she really does love her sister after everything that's happened, and how it shows, again, still, how Gamora really truly did not agree with Thanos, even when she was fighting alongside him. And when Nebula points this out to her, she, rather than, you know, killing her, she asks her what's going on, like, what happens. And I'm kind of happy that that Nebula doesn't wind up having to tell Gamora that Thanos is the one who kills her simply so he can get the Soul Stone. Because that's, you know, I don't think that I could do that if I was in her situation. Unless I absolutely had no other choice on the matter, of course. But, again, I still don't know if I'd be able to. Oh my gosh. So, now I'm to my favorite parts. I'd have to say I love the argument that Banner gives to what's-her-name from the Doctor Strange movie. I can't remember her name now, and I hate that I can't, because it's the one time I really need to talk about it. I love how he explains to her how this happens, and how, like, the the Infinity Stones won't necessarily go missing from their timeline, because they will come back to the moment that they took them to bring them back, which is a really good, it's a logical thing to do, but she's still not necessarily on board with it, because, of course, you swear an oath to protect the Time Stone. And then he says, Doctor Strange just handed it over. And that's when it snaps in her head, like, oh shit. You know, I I should really hand this over. Because if Strange did it, then something happened. And he's the best of us. He is said to be the best of us. And again, shows, like, why Doctor Strange is kind of a little arrogant, but not really. I like him. He's one of my favorite characters, and he always will be. But, I'm also happy when Spider-Man comes back. Like, I cried when I saw that Spider-Man came back. You know what? There's one other person who was said to make an appearance in Endgame, and that was Loki. And people still think that Loki's dead. There is something very interesting that I saw that I don't think a lot of people did. And when the masters of the mystic arts, when they were all like making their portals, I saw, as all those troops were moving in to fight with the Avengers, I saw a helmet. Not just any helmet. A helmet with those long, curvy, pointy horns. Loki's helmet. I saw it in the battlefield, and I know I did. And I don't know if that's an Easter egg, or if it was just, you know, they thought it would be nice to do something like that in honor of Loki, but I truly do think that Loki's alive now. I don't think it was intentional, but I do think that Loki's back. But I'm not gonna make a whole theory about that, though, because that's for another time. Because, again, it may just be me hoping that one of my favorite villains is still alive, because Loki's a villain, but he's not good at it, and it just makes him funny, and I love it, and, you know. And then there was the scene that had the theater applauding, because we all knew it was coming, and we knew it back from, I want to say, Age of Ultron, when they were all goofing around trying to lift up Thor's hammer, and Captain America just moves it, and he doesn't pick it up. He could have. He moved it. He was worthy enough to move it, but like, you could tell he was gonna pick it up, and then he decides not to. And then on the battlefield, when Thanos is about to plunge Stormbreaker into Thor's chest, he picks up Thor's hammer, and he throws it, and then it comes back to him. And you hear Thor shout, "I knew it!" And everybody in the room just started applauding because we knew it was coming. And I am still in shock over the fact that they actually put it in, because I didn't think they would. But oh my gosh, that was so great. That was one of the best parts. And then the heartbreak, like, happened with Tony Stark, and again, this is a huge spoiler, so I really don't want to spoil it, but at the same time, you know what, I'm talking about it because I saw this movie today. I want to talk about it. I want to get it out there. But Tony Stark loses his life, and it just proves the theory that the Super Comic Brothers made long beforehand. Tony Stark had to live. And that is why Doctor Strange handed over that time stone. Stark had to live so that he could die at the proper moment. He had to be the one to get those stones away from Thanos, to put him in his Iron Man suit and snap his fingers and turn Thanos to dust. And I love that. That is the most amazing thing, because again, but we all kind of knew that one of them was going to be killed off, and it wound up being two of them, but you know, past that. it was kind of sad to see that it was Iron Man, though, because, you know, 5 years into the future, and Stark's got a 5-year-old daughter, and now she's growing up without her dad, just like Stark had to kind of grow up without his after his parents were murdered by Bucky Barnes under mind control. That's another thing. I'm so happy that Bucky and all the rest of them are back. Like I said, Bucky Barnes is one of my favorite characters alongside Captain America. And I actually have a Captain America necklace on, and it's their quote, "Till the end of the line." And it's the truth. That is a quote that my friends and I kind of live by. Because, like, my friends and I are family. We're very loyal to each other. And we would follow each other till the end of the line. That's just how we are. So it's kind of a nice thing that brings up caring memories. But I'm not going into my personal life. Oh my goodness. But I think, like, I was kind of shocked to see what all Hawkeye had been up to since losing his family, and it was kind of sad because, like, you could tell how much pain he was in, how angry he was at the world because of what Thanos did. He was angry by the fact that his whole family was killed off in the snap, but villains, like mob bosses and all of them, got to live. And he didn't think that was fair. So he started killing them off. And that's another reason why I knew he wanted to kill himself, because he felt like it was his punishment for what he had been doing for all those 5 years. And he was telling Black Widow, you know, "Tell my family I love them." She's like, "You tell them yourself." And then they get into this tussle going back and forth until, like, Hawkeye kind of disables her, and then he goes to jump, and then she grabs him, and he's trying to save her at the same time, like, he's trying to kill himself, and she's the one who lets go. And it's kind of funny when they're fighting over it, but at the same time, you kind of want to cry, because, you know, these are two people who were willing to die to do the right thing, but at the same time, I can see where Black Widow's coming from, because Hawkeye has a family who is going to come back, and he has the ability to make things right with himself, and I think that he deserved it. I think he did deserve to live. I also think that Black Widow deserved to live, but, you know, she made her choice. She had to fight with Hawkeye so that she could make her choice. But, that was, like, it was sad, it was touching, it was kind of funny sometimes when you see these two characters who are really good friends just acting like themselves, acting like two close friends. Trying to think of what else I should talk about. Well, I was happy to see Black Panther and his sister come back too, because they are pretty awesome. I also love the Wakanda men and women's battle cry thing. That's awesome. That's always, like, something that gets you really pumped up, is when you hear people chanting like that. It's just, it kind of fuels you. I don't know why, but it does, and I love it. Oh, my goodness. Let me think. What else? Spider-Man. I knew there was someone I needed to talk about, and it was Spider-Man, because, again, I cried when I saw that he came back, but at the same time, I wound up crying again, because, like, not 10, 15 minutes after he comes back, he loses his father figure. He loses Tony Stark. And that's a really sad thing, too, because you know, Tony Stark just jumped through time and space, basically, and the quantum realm, simply so that he could bring back Spider-Man and all of them. And he wound up losing his own life. He never got the chance to be more of a father figure to Peter Parker. But I also think at the same time, that's going to leave even more of a mark on who Peter Parker is from now on. Like, he will probably not use his Iron Spider-Man suit too terribly often, but he will still use the original, and he will always, like, in the back of his head, always have Tony Stark there. He'll always have those words of wisdoms. I do not want to hear another single pop culture reference out of you while we are on this trip. Do you understand me? I had to try and make people laugh. I'm sorry. I loved it, though. I thought that was very touching. It was heartbreaking, but touching. I think Captain America going back in time to bring back the Infinity Stones and then deciding, you know what? I'm not going to come back. I'm going to go live my life with the woman I love, rather than watching her die later. I'm going to bring her back. Or not necessarily bring her back, but I'm going to live alongside her. I love that. It's a very important scene to me, because it kind of reminds me of my parents. I know that my dad loves my mom dearly. Despite, like, the many arguments I have heard them have over the years, my dad would definitely do something like that. Go back in time and decide, you know what, fuck it, I'm staying here, and I'm gonna be with the woman I love. And the woman he loves being my mom. I can definitely see them doing that. It was also kind of touching seeing him, like, pass on the shield. But I don't necessarily think that Falcon should have had it. I'm the kind of person who believes that Bucky Barnes should be the next Captain America, because he actually was in the comics, so it would actually... He was not the true Captain America, but he did go around as Captain America a few times in the comic books, and I believe that that is something he kind of should earn. I believe he should earn the right to be the next Captain America, and I don't think that these movies really gave him the chance to do that. But I think that he should be the next Captain America. That's just my personal opinion. You know, Falcon does a great job as Falcon. I don't necessarily think he needed the shield, but that's just me. I kind of wish Hela had been in that movie, though. Like, a part of me just wishes she just showed up and started fighting alongside her brother. Like, a part of me will always wish for that. I don't know why, but I will. Oh yeah, and all of the women, like, who are around Spider-Man and Captain Marvel and all of them, while they're trying to get the gauntlet away from Thanos and try to bring them back to the right time periods. I kind of love that scene, because it does show you how many of these powerful women are now in the Marvel Universe. Even, like, with Captain Marvel's character, who in the comic books was originally a man and now it's a woman. And even though that's not accurate, of course, to the comic books, it's still awesome. And again, it still shows you how many powerful women there are in the Marvel Universe. I love Valkyrie. I love how she showed up on her Pegasus, because I've always loved flying horses. I love horses. I grew up with them. So, like, the whole idea of having a Pegasus would just be as awesome as if you had a dragon. And I would love to have a dragon, too. I love all mythical creatures. I want them all. But I feel like her character could have been used a lot more, probably to get Thor back on track, but, you know, at the end, it was his mother who got him turned back around, and that was really awesome too. I wish Rocket had, like, slapped him more often, because maybe that would have gotten him back to himself a little faster, but I don't know. Knocking some common sense into people is a phrase I like to use often, so that might just be me. That might have just been what I tried to do, like, knock him upside the head a little bit. I don't know. I'm still trying to think. I'm sorry. I love the whole movie. Like, there were parts of it that I don't necessarily think were something that should have been in there, or something that could have been done differently, and I'll probably get into that after I'm able to, like, really watch the movie again. I mean, I'm gonna go see it again before it leaves theaters, so like, I'm not even joking on it. I'm not even joking there. I am gonna go see it at least one more time. I saw Captain Marvel in theaters twice, and, well, mainly the second time I went and saw it was because my friend Allie, she hasn't seen a lot of the Marvel movies, so I said, you want to go? I don't mind taking you. So she's like, yeah, I'd love that, because she's like my little sister. She's a sweetheart, and she, like, I'm trying to show her how awesome the Marvel Universe really is. Oh, my God, I am such a weirdo. All in all, though, I would give this movie, like, maybe an 8 out of 10, maybe a 9, if on a good day. Like I said, as of right now, I'm going to give it about an 8. But, I am going to see it more and more, so maybe later you'll see me give it a 10. But, until then, I hope you guys like this video. Be sure to like and subscribe if you want to. Click the notification bell if you want to actually see when I upload videos. I'm pretty sure you don't, but I'm just putting it out there. Check out my other Marvel videos, mostly, like, 2 of them, which is the majority of them as of right now, are me talking about Grey Hulk and a few other things. Oh yeah, one more thing. I am extremely happy that Groot came back, and it's teenage Groot, so we'll get more sassy Groot later on in life, maybe. I'd love to see that. Alrighty. I'll talk to you guys later. I love you. Peace out.